I don't even know how to start this. How do I start this? Hey guys, I'm back. Welcome back. I'm back. It's been more than a hot minute since you guys have seen me post on this channel, and I am sorry about that. Life has been crazy, and we'll get into that a little bit more in the video. If you guys clicked on this video is all about my pregnancy so far. My plan originally was to split this up trimester by trimester. I'm in my third trimester now. I know I really dropped the ball on filming this video for you guys, these videos. So now this is gonna be a longer video, but hopefully it gives you a bigger picture of how things kind of transitioned for me throughout my pregnancy, what I felt, how I knew, and week to week, as well as I can just tell you guys exactly what it was like going through this pregnancy. And if you see this little fur ball next to me, that is my co-host Julie, so she'll probably be moving around throughout this video as well. I am 31 weeks pregnant officially, which is crazy to say out loud. I actually can't believe it. Up until this point, it's been flying. Yeah, 31 weeks pregnant. Crazy. Let's get started. Like any good YouTuber, I have notes on my phone. So if you see me looking at my phone, I took notes for you guys. I wanted you to get the full experience. I didn't want to forget anything. And pregnancy brain is a real thing, so I would forget. So I wrote it down. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. How I knew I was pregnant. I didn't, but I kind of had a little inkling that I might be. I should have known because I was eating kind of weird. And this was the only time in my pregnancy that I had like very odd cravings. And when I mean like odd cravings, I was eating pickles and tuna fish, tuna salad together, mixing those two things, or like putting tuna salad on top of pickles. Yeah, it was like that. So that pickle thing, it's not a myth. It was real. Salt or the something, everything about it was just like, I needed to have pickles. And I needed to have not just one, but like a jar of pickles. Pickles and tuna fish was the weirdest thing. And that was like right before I took my first pregnancy test. So fast forward or rewind. I don't know. So let's talk about the first trimester. First trimester was kind of rough. It was definitely one of the hardest. First and third, definitely the hardest trimesters. Second trimester, phenomenal. First trimester, a lot of feelings, a lot of things. Your body is going through massive, massive changes, and it's very strange because you don't see them yet, but you feel all of the things. Oh, before I get started, you guys, I do want to mention that I used 2 apps on my phone pretty frequently, especially through my first and second trimester. I've kind of tapered off a little bit on one of them, but that is how I remembered all of the things that I went through and the things that I felt, because I was tracking my symptoms on these apps. The first one is probably the most popular. It is the Bump app, and it gives you like nice little updates every single week. So like for instance, this is where I'm at right now. It tells you how big the baby is. It gives you a lot of information on what to expect for your body as it changes, things like that. It gives you some graphics of, you know, where the baby's at, where your body's at, things to expect. And I found that to be extremely helpful throughout my pregnancy. And the other app that I used a lot was this one here, Glow Nurture, and this just shows you how far along the baby is. It gives you little tidbits, and this has a nice community if that's what you want. I really stayed away from the mommy groups because a lot of people have horror stories and I don't want to even like know about that. But the reason that I really love this app, and this was the one I used primarily in the beginning, is because you could log all of your symptoms. And being a data freak, information person, I liked seeing tracking, and it charts everything out for you throughout all the days of your pregnancy. For me, that was super helpful, and I'm actually gonna put some of the graphics up on the screen because that's how I'm remembering all of the things that I'm gonna tell you guys today, because I charted them and tracked them. Back to the first trimester. The first trimester of pregnancy is categorized as beginning at conception, which I didn't know because I've never been pregnant before, and ending at 12 weeks. So technically, you are pregnant before you're pregnant, or you're counting the weeks before you're actually pregnant. So if you do like, there are 4 weeks in a month, then you're pregnant for 10 months. So it's confusing when people are like, how many months pregnant are you? 7? 8? I don't know, because you're like already a month pregnant when you're like a day pregnant. Did that make sense? I don't even know. Anyway, conception to 12 weeks, that's gonna be your first trimester. The first real symptom that I felt was extreme fatigue. I'm gonna say that again. Extreme fatigue. I'm not talking tired. I'm talking extremely fatigued. I'm not the kind of person that can sleep in a car or on a plane or fall asleep on the couch. I was passing out places. I was so tired. I would sit down and be asleep. Extreme fatigue. Insane. So tired. Days where I just like didn't want to get out of bed if I didn't have to. And that was fine. That was very strange because I'm a very active person and I was like, what is going on here? If you go on Google or WebMD and you're like, am I pregnant? Which we've all done some point in our life probably, and you get like the list of symptoms and they're the same as period symptoms and you freak out because you're like, oh my God, pregnant, blah, 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 and then you get your period. Yeah, the symptoms are very similar, but they are so different. They feel so different, at least for me. You see fatigue, you think you have fatigue when you're gonna get your period. It is nothing compared to the fatigue you have when you are pregnant in your first trimester, I promise. Secondly, sore, tender breasts. My breasts were always sore when I was gonna get my period. This was like, you touched me or you brushed up against me and I'm gonna cry, okay? Like, it was so painful. And also, my boobs grew so fast. A lot of growth for the girls in the first trimester. Your hormones are going bonkers during the first trimester. And this might be TMI. So if you don't like real talk, you can click off right now. But I'm just gonna say that your body does some crazy things and it's not all cute. So I hope that the person you're with is prepared and yeah, you get really gassy. You have to pee all the time. That's for real. You are sniffly. I'm still sniffly. You have lots of discharge. And for me, at one point, I had like excessive saliva where I was like, I feel like I'm gonna choke on my saliva. I have so much spit in my mouth. What is that? So that was like all first trimester, weird feels. And on top of that, all those other cute things that are happening, my sense of smell was out of control. And when you work in Midtown Manhattan and you're walking through Koreatown when the garbage is out in the morning, God help me. It was a very hard time. I was gagging, and even though I didn't have like morning sickness, I would have like little bits of nausea, and smell was like a huge trigger for me that would like make me gag. I only got sick, like puking sick, 3 different times, and that was from brushing my teeth. I just like triggered myself to gag and that was it. So I was very lucky throughout my first trimester that I didn't have like extreme morning sickness. I wasn't puking all the time, but man, oh man, my sense of smell was insane. Skin was fine. If you guys saw my other video where we announced the gender of our baby, I'll link that up above. I did mention this as well. My skin was pretty normal through most of my pregnancy. I would have like mild breakouts if I had any. Nothing out of the ordinary for me that was different than before I was pregnant. As far as food cravings go, I didn't really have any food cravings other than the ones that I mentioned before I was pregnant, aside from one thing, carbs. Just carbs. Carbs. Only because it was the only thing that made me feel good. I just didn't want to eat anything else. Everything else was like so gross to me. Meat, I would like look at it, not really that interested. I like couldn't physically swallow it. It was just like repulsive to me. That went away after the first trimester, but it was very real during the first 12 weeks of my pregnancy. Sometime around week 9, I started getting very crampy feeling. I do think it was like some round ligament pain because I was so small and everything was kind of starting to stretch. It took me quite a while to show, but things were definitely stretching and getting ready for baby. So around week 9, I felt like that crampiness, but Nothing too uncomfortable aside from all the other things that I mentioned that were just weird hormonal changes in my body that were like, hey, you're pregnant and we're gonna get this all ready. Oh, I also want to mention this. My first trimester, I weighed about 121, between 121 and 123 pounds, and in the majority of the first trimester I was pretty good, even though I was eating carbs, pizza,
grilled cheese, bread, saltine crackers, anything that was a carb, bagel sandwich,
whatever. That was like what I wanted. Even though I was eating all of those things, I gained about 4.85 pounds. So I ended my first trimester 128 pounds. That wasn't too bad. And it was pretty normal, I think. Some people only gain like 2 pounds their first trimester. Not her. Second trimester. Moving on. Second trimester. Oh, girl. I was so ready for second trimester. Everybody said, second trimester is so great. It's the best. They're not lying. It was the best. So second trimester is classified as week 13 to week 27. Week 13, I was like, yes, we're here. We made it to week 13. And instantly, for 3 solid days, I had a migraine, terrible migraine. But after that, life was beautiful. In my second trimester, I felt phenomenal. I felt like myself. I was hitting the gym again. I was back being consistent. I could eat things that had grossed me out previously. I could eat meat again. I just felt awesome. And I had tons of energy, like insane. Superwoman. It felt like a huge relief after the first trimester and everything that was. Second trimester, loved it. In my second trimester, we moved. If you guys noticed, or maybe you didn't notice, this is a different bedroom. We moved into a new house and I filmed all of that stuff, but I have yet to edit it because right around the time that we moved, I lost my grandfather, and then 6 weeks later, I lost my grandmother. So dealing with grief during pregnancy was a whole nother thing, and maybe I'll make a video about that. But I dealt with a lot of emotions and a lot of loss in my second trimester. So thankfully, even though I was feeling very good and energetic, internally, mentally, I was having like a really hard time. But that leads me to, I was eating my feelings. So I gained some weight in the second trimester. Okay, I gained a lot of weight in the second trimester. I'll talk about that in a second. Around week 19 though, the shortness of breath started happening, and that was pretty humbling. You could be crushing it in the gym and then you gotta stop and slow down. That was a new sensation as well. Also, everyone started asking me, have you felt the baby kick? Are you feeling flutters? I had no idea what flutters were. I don't know if I ever felt flutters. I might have, maybe around like week 18, but I mean, I'm reading things that are like, you're gonna feel baby kick around week 15, 16, I think, as if I'm remembering properly. But no, I did not feel any of that, and I was like dying to feel it. And then I'm worrying that something's wrong. It took probably until like week 20 for me to feel like a real, if anything, around like I said, 18, 19, I would feel like a thud that felt kind of like gas pain. And I believe that that was most likely a flutter, but it was more like, for my little boy, a thump. Now he makes himself known. I know when he's kicking, and he's kicking all the time. It's like, there's nonstop, unless I'm like running around or moving. But in those moments of silence, he's like, shh, I'm here, Mom, which I love. But like I said, a lot of sad stuff, a lot of traveling, a lot of moving, living out of boxes, driving 4 hours to see my family, eating a lot of fast food that was convenient, and just trying to spend time with my grandparents before they both passed away. So I ate a lot of crap and my body paid the price. I ended up gaining, between weeks 12 and 24, I gained 16 pounds. And then between weeks 24 and 28, so another month, your girl gained 9 pounds. Grand total, 25 pounds in my second trimester. If you're doing the math, I gained 30 pounds by the time we hit trimester 3. Which leads me into third trimester, which I am currently in, obviously, because I am still pregnant. So third trimester, like I said, I'm up 30 pounds from my starting weight. It's normal. My doctor says that I will probably gain another 15 to 20. That part is a little scary, but I'm growing a human. A tiny human is living in there. And I gotta eat and, you know, fuel him and everything. I'm trying to stay active, and that's still been my goal, and I still have felt pretty good through my third trimester, but then the feelings all come back around again, and they bring a bunch of new friends with them that you didn't have in the first trimester. But then some of the first trimester feelings that you thought were gone for good, those are back. They're back again. And two of the newbies that made their way into my life were heartburn and indigestion. Probably because there's feet right here kicking me most of the day. But yeah, you get really bad heartburn and indigestion. I take Tums all the time. They're pregnancy safe, and I recommend Tums and Gas-X. They're a great friend for you. They actually make Tums with Gas-X in them. I know this from experience. Okay, leg cramps. Ooh, leg cramps, aka a Charlie horse, for those of you who call them that, because that's what I call them. Sorry, my camera died, so hopefully I'm in the same spot as I was before. So we were talking about the third trimester, and we were talking specifically about leg cramps, Charlie horses. So painful, so bad. I get them in my calf muscle, both legs, and it usually happens in the middle of the night, and then all of a sudden, pew, the muscle just like tenses so hard and it hurts so bad. I get them at least once a week, like I said, and it's just not fun, but it's the reality of the third trimester. So far, I haven't had any really bad stretch marks. I don't really have any stretch marks to speak of. I'm constantly lotioning up and hoping for the best. Another symptom that I forgot to mention in the first trimester that is back again in the third are really vivid dreams. Crazy, wacko, vivid dreams. I have had a little bit of Braxton Hicks contractions, which for the longest time, again, it's kind of like flutters. You're like, you don't know what it means to feel that or what you're looking for. But Braxton Hicks is basically your uterus tightening, practicing for labor. So it's like a false contraction, but it is a contraction. So basically what happens is your belly gets like really tight for a second, and it's like, ooh, and then it goes away. And sometimes like the baby's kicking at the same time, and it's like everything just feels like really tight. And yeah, that's a Braxton Hicks contraction. So I've had them. They're pretty infrequent, but they stop you dead in your tracks when you do have them, and it's just a part of life in the third trimester. Another thing that I've noticed is I haven't really had too much like restless leg syndrome. I know that can be pretty common. Maybe like once or twice when you're laying in bed, I'll be like, my legs will just kind of like shoot out. What I do feel though is I wake up in the morning, and I don't know if it's like pregnancy induced like carpal tunnel in my hands and feet, but I'll wake myself up pretty often because my hands are numb or my feet are numb, or they're like really tight. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm just like cracking my knuckles, and I'm like, oh my God, like my hands will feel swollen in the morning when I wake up. And then you like step out of bed and your feet just like creak and they hurt and they ache. And as the day goes on, I feel a little bit better, but it's just like the weirdest thing. I use my pregnancy pillow, which is the Snuggle. I'm obsessed with it. I bought it really early on in my pregnancy, and I really highly recommend that you get a pregnancy pillow if you are newly pregnant. It's never too early, and it is so comfortable anyway. But I would sleep in my pregnancy pillow. Even though I'm in my pregnancy pillow, it's so hard to turn over. I used to be able to just like turn over. But now I have to hold my belly up a little bit and like turn it, because your weight is just so awkwardly distributed on your body. It's hard to just turn from side to side, and I'm a very light sleeper at times. So turning in bed and sleeping and getting good sleep is just a challenge in the third trimester. And I know it's only gonna get worse, and it's definitely prepping you for baby, because I don't think we're gonna sleep at all once he is here. Speaking of holding my belly to do things, I just ordered a belly band because I've been having a little bit of back pain, and it definitely comes from like the weight of my belly starting to pull down on me, and I just don't want that to affect my workouts. And it more so affects me when I'm commuting for work into the city and I'm taking the bus and I'm running around, I'm on my feet all day. I find myself when I'm walking like lifting my belly up and walking and taking that tension off the bottom, and that really helps relieve the pain from my back. But yes, I am going to start using the belly band. I thought I would never need it. I will let you guys know how that goes. We're almost at the end here for now. At the end of 31 weeks, my weight has stayed the same for the past couple weeks. So I am still up 30 pounds total in my going into my 32nd week of pregnancy. I will also mention as a bonus that around week 28 you take your gestational diabetes test, which is that you guys have probably heard of it before. You drink that sugary drink, you have 5 minutes to drink it. Well, hello co-host, welcome back. You have 5 minutes to drink the drink, and then you sit around for an hour, they take your blood. I passed the gestational diabetes test and I was really happy about that, but I felt horrible after it, and I had like terrible jitters, and I felt like I was gonna pass out. So definitely after you take that exam, eat some food, because I didn't eat anything and I felt just awful. That is everything that I can think of, you guys. I know it's a long video. It's basically my whole pregnancy summed up so far, and the craziest thing to me is that I have 9 weeks left until this baby is here, and that is nuts. I can't wait for him to be here. I'm super impatient at this point, and it's gonna come fast, and I have a lot left to do. I'm just so excited, you guys. We are in the home stretch. It is happening, and I'm feeling really good, thankfully. Growing every day, belly is getting big, but now it's really cute. You know, I'm trying to find clothes that fit, and it's been more fun. So I hope that this video helps you guys. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Again, I'm a first-time mom. This is also new to me, and if I can help you guys in any way to alleviate your worries or your fears, I would love to help with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. I would love to have you back on my channel to finish out this journey with me. I promise that I will upload more content more frequently, and I'll see you guys over on Instagram. That's where I hang out. If you like this video, please give me a like. If you were entertained at all during this video, give me a like. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye. That happens a lot when you're pregnant, and that is a great segue for me. Is it? I don't know. So the first trimester is going to be from week and I can feel it normally when I go to like stretch and that was real. Oh my god. Hi, I can speak English, I really can. Hello. Where was I going with this? Pregnancy brain. Oh my god, you guys, I don't remember. I remember. And yeah, that's that.